outgun Luca or tries to use maybe a bit of experience and force Luca to make the mistakes.
I think Murphy needs to play to his strengths without being too aggressive.
I don't think he'll be able to resist being in a potting match.
Shaun Murphy 4.
I haven't seen a lot, I must admit, of Luca Brecel apart from this week, really, and what's impressed me, he's got an aura about him around the table that can affect other players. He's just got that confidence. Good safety shot. Use the knuckle of the middle pocket here to bring the cue ball back to bulk. Yeah, a bit pacey. Wants that red to stop. It's on, but position a bit up in the air because the cue ball so close to the cushion, really hard to control.
He's just nudged a red into the path of the pink to the left-hand middle pocket. Other than that, that would have been a dream kiss.
He would have definitely taken the blue to the far left corner, but there was no red to play for, so no point.
Well, the collection of kisses has left Brecel right in.
One.
I know it's early in the first frame, but I think he might have been tempted to play for the black. I know it's a tough shot along the cushion, but he doesn't normally shy away from big shots. Well, that's a pretty good shot. After a choice of
7.
Well, 4 reds all went to this corner pocket. Again, might be tempted by the black.
8.
A little tester.
And a shot that just indicated the tightness of the bags. Caught the near jaw and refused to drop.
Well, since the opening long red, Shaun Murphy's played 2-3 shots. Looks a little bit edgy.
It's a typical opening frame in many respects. Both players try to find their feet.
Didn't have to take that red on. No safety shots there. So perhaps Shaun is going to play and try and outgun his young opponent.
One.
It was a little clumsy to leave that hampered cueing on the brown, but well recovered. Couldn't have struck that one any better.
5. Six.
Very simple style of play, and stance is a little bit unusual in that if you look, his left leg's behind the right leg almost. That's a little bit unorthodox.
Thirteen.
Another one made to look
14.
very, very easy.
If you were watching at the top of the show, you'll have heard Shaun Murphy describe Luca Brecel as the Belgian prospect. Well, if he were to win this tournament, he would be well clear at the top of the money list for the season. I think he's a little more than a prospect now. I think he's the real thing.
Yeah, the moment he won that tournament in China, he stopped
21.
being a prospect.
Twenty-two.
Trying
29.
to force an angle. This red's now missable. Just to concentrate on the pot. Sometimes you can watch the cue ball here and forget about the pot.
30.
Not out of the woods yet. And the cue ball's going to be going close to those two reds on the right hand side cushion. He doesn't necessarily want to move them. That was a brilliant shot. It really was. You have to cue those so positively, but then
32.
slow enough to keep the cue ball in position.
33.
Also in the pre-match interview, I was talking to Shaun about that match in the Northern Ireland Open 12 months ago when Brecel beat him 4-0. It was just an extraordinary match.
39.
He outscored Murphy by 357 points to 8. It was over well
40.
inside an hour. Murphy potting just a handful of balls in the entire contest. Now, there's an intimidation factor when that kind of thing happens. And Brecel looks like he's going to be off to a flyer again.
46.
Yeah, as I said earlier, he's got that little bit of arrogance walking around the table that you need to be at the top of any sport,
47.
especially this game when it's such a psychological sport to get an advantage over your opponent. Your opponent's just sat in his chair watching you. If you can be supreme, give you a big advantage.
53.
Shaun, to me, already looks a bit under pressure.
54.
This isn't the biggest break we've seen this week, but it's one of the best.
$60. 61. 68. Luca Brecel,
He can't pot everything, but he pots most things. A break of 68, just the start that Luca Brecel would have wanted. One of the big stories of this year's 188 bet Champion of Champions has been the play of Luca Brecel.
Second frame. Shaun Murphy to break.
And the man charged with the responsibility of trying to arrest the march of the Belgian is the man breaking off, Shaun Murphy. And it's quite clear he has a tough task. A tiger by the tail.
So these visits to the table now become very important for Shaun to try and put pressure or keep pressure on Luca. At the moment, he's the one under it. I think if I was playing Luca, Phil, I think I'd just have to, you just set your mind that whenever you get a chance, you've just got to try and take your chances. And that's the only way to put pressure on it, I think. When you get to the table, if you keep winning frames in one visit, that's the only way you can put pressure on any opponent, really. That's Shaun's strength. So he's not a Selby player that can tie the game up.
And Murphy's known about Brecel's ability for a number of years now. These two first played in the quarter-final of the UK Championship in 2012. When Brecel was only 17, he was very raw, an uncut diamond then. Murphy came back from 5-4 down to beat him 6-5.
That was a lovely shot. controlled cannon. Leave this red to right corner.
17.
Yeah, talking about Luca, I played him in an exhibition in Bruges in
18.
Belgium when he was 13, and he knocked in a 136 total clearance against me. Kind of thought this kid's got a bit of talent. It's taken him longer than I expected, actually, to start competing and winning tournaments.
1 to 5.
He's there now. Who knows what the future is going to hold.
1 to 6.
Meanwhile, this has turned into a decent opportunity for Shaun Murphy. Oh, he's got a little bit into that cue ball, a little bit too much side on it.
33.
Still feels he can get on the black, just brush off these reds. That was well played this game. Well played.
34.
Okay, this black's tricky, but this was cued superbly.
Just coaxed in the black with the pace. Any harder, that might have stayed out. And the red does.
Shaun Murphy, 41.
He's been very fortunate. Possibly still a red to the far right corner. It's probably the first time this week that he's played a real rash shot for me, Luca Brecel.
Had the red gone, he would have been in to win and draw level.
Yellow. Shaun coming around to see the red to the left of the black. If he just sends that back up to the bulkhead, leaves the cue ball on this black cushion, what he's going to leave. He's in a bit of trouble here. He may feel forced into going for this red to left corner. It's fraught with danger. Yeah, tried to pot his way out of trouble. And he'd be happy with the result.
Well, the only positive for Brecel there is that the cue ball has come to rest very close to a side cushion, so there's pressure on this. Other than that, the shot was badly struck.
I like his feet, but as we said, Phil, there was pressure on that. Good pot. Surely Shaun Murphy's going to take the second frame now from this visit.
Eight. Nine. Sixteen. 17.
'Demonstration of easy power there.
24.
Screen back for a choice of 2 reds. Didn't look spectacular, but it was very nicely struck.
25.
Both these players got very long cue actions. Nice long backswing, smooth delivery through the ball. I think it's going to be very hard to pick a winner this match. This might go all the way to the end.
31. 32.
He's had a nice week here, Shaun Murphy. Beat Mark King first up, and then Michael White in the quarterfinals. As Jill was telling us, made 3 consecutive century breaks in that match. And then afterwards, he walked into the press room and there was someone there to meet him he hadn't seen for many a
38.
year.
Shaun Murphy 46.
Well, it took 2 visits. The breaks of 41 and 46. Good enough for Shaun Murphy to get back onto level terms. Welcome back to an absolutely packed Ricoh Arena. And the reason everyone's in here occupying every single seat is because we're watching a very attractive semi-final in this Champion of Champions. First 2 frames shared.
Slight shake of the head from Luca there. He knows he can't be leaving these for Shaun Murphy all night. Because that's what will happen more often than not. Not the best couple of kisses he could have got from the Reds.
Yellow.
Yellow ball. Shaun Murphy 1.
Rarely does Murphy miss with the rest. That was a tough pot, but he's so good. He's using the rest. You expect him to knock in everything. Now that could be costly.
One.
They won't be happy with that. You see a shake of the head. He's just blocked the black to the right corner pocket.
8. Nine.
Brecel's cue still making quite a tinny noise when he plays with power. If you don't know the story, on the way back from the International Championship last week, he was forced to leave his normal cue, which he'd been using for 7 months, in Beijing Airport.
13.
Still hasn't been returned yet. What he's doing for next week's Shanghai Masters, a couple of Maximus cues produced in Thailand have been dispatched to Shanghai for his use there. But for this weekend, he's gone back to an old friend.
18.
However, it's an old phone that
19.
was a little damaged, and that's why the sound isn't quite as good as you normally expect. He's okay when he's playing delicate shots, but when you see him play a power shot, you'll hear the cue just be a little tinny.
25. $26. $33. Thank you. 34. $41.
About 2 or 3 inches short, been in perfect position. He'd like to have just played for the blue here. Now he's able to control the
42.
cue ball. He made that look very easy. Looking at the bunch, so you would suggest anything left side of the bunch is going to be fine, because you can cannon that red that's loose. If he hits the right hand side of the bunch, you could lose position here. Yeah, anything that side was always going to be fine. Very well played. Looking like the third
47.
frame is going to Luca Brecel. And from that long ball that Shaun Murphy
48.
took on, as I said before, Shaun Murphy, much like myself in my career, he prefers to pop himself out of trouble than looking for a safety. That might be his downfall tonight.
55. 56. $63.
Tantalisingly, though, not home and dry just yet. 62 in front, as you can see, 67 on the table, so has to pop this red with a spider.
Yeah, and it's not straight at the red, so if he wants to continue the break, he's going to have to play this with a bit of power, and that makes it missable, this red, believe it or not. If he just flicks the tiniest bit aside on the cue ball, unintentional side that is, he can miss this.
And now it's the branding iron, Stephen, so the tariff has been increased even more. And look at the elevation.
Luca Brecel, 63.
Well, if the yellow was on its spot and all the cards would open, I'd always make Shaun Murphy, if he can get position on the black favourite now for this frame. This is already, could be a big moment in this match. And Shaun Murphy will know it.
1.
And look where the yellow is. Yeah, the way Luca played that black to leave himself having to use the extended spider, it was a wee bit negative. I know he doesn't want to open the reds because, you know, she only needs one more red to leave Shaun needing snookers, but I think you still play your
9.
normal game. His normal game would be to cannon into the bunch and just leave himself perfect on the red with no distractions.
16. 17. 18.
to complete his first round win over Mark King.
24.
Shaun Murphy cleared up with 69, having trailed by, you guessed it, 63-0.
25.
History, is it repeating itself?
$32.
Yeah, at the very worst, if he doesn't get properly in the yellow, he can play a very good safety shot. And for the pink, just doesn't want to be dead straight in this pink. And looks to have a nice angle to follow through of 2 cushions. Yeah, look at that, that's perfect. If the yellow's touching the cushion, it makes this shot so much easier.
39. Shaun
Well, that could have been a turning
39.
point in this match, or a big moment anyway early on, but Luca Brecel coming to the table, huge sigh of relief.
Yes, reprieved, man syndrome. Still needs yellow and green, though.
Yeah, his nickname, the Belgian Bullet. Has he dodged one there, Phil?
2.
You've been sitting next to me for far too long, Stephen. Very nice.
5. $9. 14. 20.
50, but he missed the yellow. Brecel did the rest. A match that's living up to expectations. The younger man is 2-1 ahead. Luca Brecel is 2-1 up on Shaun Murphy in this second semi-final.
Thank you. Spring 4. Shaun Murphy to break.
At the end of this evening, we will know the composition of the final for the Champion of Champions, Ronnie O'Sullivan versus, at the moment, a big question mark.
Foul. Miss. Shaun Murphy 6. Missed the pink by an absolute fraction.
Second time Luca's done that in this match. Got the safety too thick. We're rolling the jaws of the pocket. Safety's not been at the standard so far that it was against Mark Selby in the final of his group.
Well, it's indisputable that Murphy has the edge in experience. He's looking for his 38th professional tournament final this evening. Brecel trying to reach his third.
Stunning pot this. Absolute perfect angle on the brown to go into the bunch. If possible, he just wants to miss the pink. If he cannons the pink first, then he'll take the speed out of it. He's playing for the open reds first, so perhaps thought that pink was just in the way a bit. He's not played the best shot there.
5.
Cue ball should have been nowhere near that side cushion. Rescued the situation very well.
6.
So what inspiration, confidence will Shaun Murphy get from that? Excellent open and red.
13. Fourteen.
Top spin, touch your right hand side into the bunch. If he's not on that red, he's been very unfortunate. He couldn't have hit those a lot better.
21.
The way the reds have split.
That was the thing that you hated most, wasn't it, Stephen, when you went into the punch really well and dropped on nothing? That really frustrated you.
I think when you know you've hit it properly as well, it's, you know, if you don't quite hit the shot right, you're not on one, you can sort of put up with it, but when you've hit it as good as Shaun did, you feel very right to be on at least one red.
Shaun Murphy, 21.
And not only was he not on a pot, didn't really have an opportunity to play a penetrating safety shot either. Had to play just a containing one.
It's okay. He's just not on it with his safety so far tonight, Luca. The cue ball should have been glued to that bolt cushion. It's given Shaun something to think about, but it's so much easier where the cue ball is. The way the reds are spread open now, you think the first mistake now could cost the frame to either player. And then with Shaun putting that red up in the bulk area, it's made it even more tricky to get it safe. So Luca looks to be taking a red on to left middle. Good shot.
One.
I suppose you could be hypercritical and say he shouldn't have been allowed to go for that red, but it's still a great pot.
Yes, and just a touch of right-hand side as well meant that the cue ball wasn't too close to the side cushion. And now he's bang in.
Five. Ten. 11.
Well, the reds are covering each other now, so Luca's looking to play some sort of cannon. I mean, into the pink would give him a choice of at least a couple of reds, I think.
Sixteen. Seventeen.
Incorrect side of the blue, not a great amount of angle. Impossible to swing it out of balking back, so
22.
a pressurised mid-range red coming up. Pressure,
23.
more pressure.
And now a cannon into just through the gap of these reds. Possibly the red that's just touching the left-hand side of the pink. You think anywhere through the gap of the first four with a bit of pace, you'd be perfect. I'd say that's the frame winning shot.
Thirty. $31.
Well, if he's not on this red to left middle,
36.
his heart was in his mouth there. He's lost control of the cue ball. And judging by the body language, he's on it. So, sigh of relief again.
$37. $43. $44. $51. $52.
Make no mistake, this is a major occasion against a major opponent. And at the moment, Brecel's taking everything in his stride.
A
57.
little smile there. He's lost the cue ball a little bit again. Didn't want to be this close to the side cushion. No problem. But this is
58.
the part of the frame where you just need a couple of balls to leave your opponent needing snooker. So you want to be in perfect position every time, really.
Yes, and now the most elementary frame ball imaginable coming up.
65.
Yes, another frame that Shaun Murphy was in first.
66.
Something to think about at the interval.
When he won the China Championship to make his breakthrough, Brecel, he beat the likes of Marco
73.
Fu, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and in the final, Shaun Murphy. Subsequently, he reached the
74.
semi-final of the World Open, again in China. And right now, it's clear his confidence knows no bounds.
80.
No century, but more than enough for Luca Brecel to go into the interval with the advantage. The score here, 3-1.
Well, what a confident display from the young Belgian there. He leads Shaun Murphy 3 frames to 1. We'll hear what Neil Foles made of that performance in a couple of minutes.
calculations tell us that Luca Brecel has tackled all but 3 of the 75 balls he's attempted in the first 4 frames. And 2 of those were in frames that he'd already clinched with a substantial
Thank
break.
you.
68 in the first, 80 in the
Frame
fourth.
5. Luca Brecel to break.
He's always been a confident player, but there's an extra depth to his confidence based on his recent results.
Great long pot. Not the first time that he's done it off Luca's break tonight. It's been a very interesting match, and it kind of is exactly how we expected. Both players won't die wondering. They play their shots. Just a little bit of noise, I think, there on his backswing. Someone just returning to their seat. I didn't put him off, which is always good. Referee Micah Kessler just putting the pink ball on the only place it can go, which is in line with its own spot behind it, not touching the reds. Nowhere else is available. Shaun Murphy, 15 minutes to think about what happened. He'll probably just play in the same vein and just hope to pop more balls. That's his kind of usual MO in a match like this. And I suppose if you can hit the ball as he does, why would you need to change that? But sometimes, I guess, it's an argument that he plays to someone like Luca Brecel's strengths by being so bold.
13.
Well, he didn't hit that all that well. He wasn't really unlucky there, and in some ways he's fairly fortunate. Tried to get into the top of the bunch, and the cube was not meant to slide off them. Now, this is not an easy red. One that he's playing. Played it okay.
26.
Can't quite get himself into position, though, in this break.
$31. $32.
Same applies to that last shot. Very clean pop, but just straightish on the blue, frustratingly for him.
49.
It was a good recovery shot once again.
40.
There have been some positive shot selections in this break.
Well, he puts his hand up slightly to acknowledge a bit of good fortune, but I don't think he
47.
couldn't begrudge him it, because he's had a few little nudges have gone against him so far. Still, it's straight. And when you pot like Murphy, it doesn't matter so much. Again, his next red is likely to be a difficult one. He's looking at coming around the table. He hit this with a lot of pace. Well, nearly broke the back of the pocket there. I don't think you can expect them to go in at that speed into a middle pocket. He hit it so hard.
I think it was flush to the back of the pocket.
1.
He seemed to be on a mission there, didn't he, Murphy, just to continue the way he was going. Well, that is an unbelievable error of judgment.
Luca Brecel, 1.
Incredibly careless. So instead of having a chance for a winning clearance, Brecel gives Murphy a chance to clinch this fifth frame.
One. Eight.
Don't want to overthink this. Red colour, high value colour.
9.
Yet the next red will clinch the frame for sure, even though it mathematically one snooker will be the equation when this is potted. Come out very
14.
positively indeed.
$15.
Well past the post.
21. Shaun Murphy 21 in the frame.
So Luca Brecel missed his chance for a counter attack, and Shaun Murphy clinches the frame. Brecel still leads by 3 frames to 2. capacity crowd again here at the Ricoh Arena. Ronnie O'Sullivan isn't the only player who packs in the crowds.
Thank you. Frame 6. Shaun Murphy to break.
Actually, the event is the star. We're in the 5th year of it at this fine venue.
Look at that safety shot he's played there. He's really come hard off the side of the bunch. And obviously, if you want to think negatively, so well, you can leave a red over a pocket, but as it happens, he's left a very difficult tempter, if you like. I mean, I don't think he had any choice to go for it, was the problem, but it was really difficult. Real blow-for-blow stuff, isn't it, between these two? Not an awful lot of safety.
One.
Some players dwell on their mistakes, some don't. And Brecel is in the latter category.
6.
Careless error cost him his chance of winning the last frame. But that was
7.
then, this is now.
Thirteen. 14.
Just had to chance his arm. The table was not really conducive to heavy scoring.
Luca Brecel, 25.
Wanted to get the cue ball to the baulk cushion because a safety from the baulk line presents Murphy with no problem. An untimely bang and crash somewhere in the arena.
Foul. Luca Brecel, 4.
Well, is there a red potable from the D? that's worth going for.
Well, the other thing, Clive, is the brown and green being fairly close together is not a bad target if he wants to play safe. I think he's found a gap, though, to go for a red, as you pointed out. Well, that's well done. And also he played for two in one check from behind the green and brown. I think the key to this was the fact that he could find an escape route. No, he's going to tickle up behind a colour this time. He's not going for one. Would be a shot too many, I think. It's a very nice touch from where he was. It's not an easy shot to play from under a cushion.
Foul. Miss. Luca Brecel, four.
Grimace on Shaun Murphy's face. I think he played something a little different to that. Seems surprised by the bounce, I believe. Might have played to hit the red that was below the black, the one that Luca's now looking at. The option to have it put back, of course, is still there. He's looking to attack all the time.
Well, it was a thinner cut at that. I didn't think Brecel would miss that.
Well, he's left an angle on this red to stun across for a high value colour, pink or black.
Seven. Thirteen.
Well, he did a lot of thinking there, and I think he
Shaun Murphy,
ignored
13.
or slightly forgot about the next red, concerning himself with the colour that he was playing on. Could be a very costly mistake there.
One.
May even be able to open the four reds up that's directly below the pink. Top spin here, really get things going.
Seven. 8. $14. 15. 21. 22.
It's been one of the few frames where the balls have gone a little awkward. It hasn't been a long frame though. They've been playing 10 minutes. And Brecel is pretty close to winning it. Top red goes here.
28.
Just red and colour needed.
Yes, and
29.
Murphy's error was a bad one because the ready miss was simple, but he was thinking about something else further down the line.
So Brecel's mistake on an easy ball in the last frame gifted it to Murphy.
36.
And Murphy's mistake in this one has given Brecel the chance
Luca Brecel, 36.
to go two frames in front again at 4-2.
Thank you. Frame 7. Luca Brecel to break.
After his fine day's work on Wednesday, when he beat Judd Trump 4-0 and world number 1 Mark Selby 6-4, Luca Brecel flew home to Belgium and returned here with his parents, who are naturally hoping to see him play not only this evening but in tomorrow's final against Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, so he's already beaten the season, Clive, when he went on to win the China Championship. Came from quite a long way behind to beat O'Sullivan, so he wouldn't go into it if he did win as a forlorn hope by any means.
was a poor shot. Needed to avoid the baulk colours with the red.
Whoever wins this match, Clive, one thing you can commend them both. They play very watchable snooker. That's why we've got a big audience tonight and enjoying it.
7.
Not a lot of tactical play, but tremendous putting and scoring. And you always knew it was going to be this sort of a match.
Didn't mean it can in the yellow on the way round.
12.
Great recovery.
13.
And that's a bit of a dream split, especially if the black goes to the right corner. That's the first thing you wanted to look at, but this was just everything moving like ants. Well, he's on the other end. It's a great chance,
18.
and it's all his own doing.
It certainly creates the possibility that Murphy will win this
25.
frame at this visit.
26.
Yes, it really is. Wonderful chance. Those couple of reds both pot, just above the black there. He should win it here. At this level, he needs to.
33. 34. 41. 42. 49. 50.
He's got himself into a little bit of a spot here. He certainly wouldn't have played on the pink. Blue, just got to be a bit careful with these close ones that you don't get the angle wrong, and of course you wouldn't want to crash into a bulk colour, so it has to be a little watchful on this shot, whichever shot it is. Goodness, he's playing the pink. That's a harder pot than the blue even. Well played, well recovered. Probably shouldn't have ended up there, but it's history now.
56. 57.
Could be a bit on the straight side for ease of position.
$64. 65.
The applause recognises that Murphy's opponent already needs a snooker.
71.
Not that he's going to get a chance to play for one.
72. $78. 79. 86. 87.
Murphy's professional career has included 436 entries.
$93. 94. 102. $104.
A loose safety from Brecel gave Murphy his opportunity, but how well he developed it.
109. 113.
It's been typical Shaun Murphy. Brilliant cueing, hitting the ball perfectly, and then very attacking.
118. 124.
131 in just under 9 minutes. Again narrows the gap to a single frame. That century from Shaun Murphy means that Luca Brecel's lead is reduced to 4-3.
Shaun Murphy has stormed back into this match, Stephen. Nothing much wrong with that century there, was there?
No, and that's what he needs more of. He's got in first in quite a few of the frames tonight, but hasn't been able to convert to a one-visit win. That was a magnificent break. There was 2 or 3 shots in there that he got himself in a little bit of trouble positionally, but magnificent brown, split the reds perfect, and yeah, he needs more of that. He needs to really put the pressure on Luca.
He came back strongly from the break, Shaun. He knew he was going to have to be on his mettle if he was going to compete with this youngster.
Yeah, as I say, there's nothing you can put pressure on your opponent more than if you're winning frames in one visit, because it really, you know, that's what it does. It puts pressure on your opponent to either take advantage of their chances. It puts pressure on their safety play. yeah, it's the only way he can win snooker matches at this top level is by converting these chances.
It's absolutely enthralling, isn't it? Back end-to-end stuff, as they would say, if it was a football match. Let's get back to the action then with Neil and Clive.
Thank you. Frame 8. Shaun Murphy to break.
7 frames completed in 82 minutes. Pretty brisk.
I don't know if he went for the pot there, because where the cue ball finished, I don't think he would have particularly wanted to pot it. Anyway, got away with it either way. Luca's safety shot's got to be well played also, with the red in its way to bulk. It's not a good shot. He's given a chance somehow.
Needed to be thinner on the red to hide the red nearest the balk line.
Yeah, much thinner. He probably played down towards the yellow there. Just went across the red that he hit too much. The last thing he wanted was Murphy in again straight away. Does the black go? He's had a look.
3.
It's tight. I think it will pot if he's right behind it. Obviously Murphy would agree with that because he's played on it.
4.
Now the red that nearly was covering the black to the left corner is going to be potted next. And once
11.
again, it opens the table up around the black end.
Twelve.
No, delightful. Delightful shot.
19. 20.
All those
27.
reds that in an open play, and he finishes awkwardly. He's very keen to play briskly, and he's not taking a lot of time on shots. He's trying to get some rhythm, but the last shot, maybe he had to give a little bit more attention than he did. He's finished in the one place where there's nothing easy. This is a very thin, awkward continuation shot here.
Good recovery pot, but not a favourable angle on any colour.
No, time to take plan B, I think. I know he wants to stay positive, but sometimes you have to just cut your losses and keep your opponent under pressure by playing the right shot, and it's in behind the brown. It's a terrible effort.
Shaun Murphy,
I don't know if it's hit a
28.
slate line, but he looked to overhit it for me. I don't know.
If anything, that was too thin. Brecel struggling to make the precise contact he wants on his safeties. I think that was a potting attempt. He left the cue ball short of the balk line on the assumption that he would pot it. Murphy way off the mark.
Luca's been kept quiet for 17 and a half minutes. In that time, that man has potted a lot of balls, but it's not an easy starter here by any means for Brecel. This red, you have to force it to get up for a colour. The one over the, or near the middle, is very thin. So having sat out a century of total clearance, you would hope for something better than this from the error that Murphy made.
Not at that speed, surely.
Thank you.
I guess it is possible to pot it, but you're making the pocket so much smaller than it already is. I mean, hit it about 200 miles an hour. Get the feeling, Clyde, this is a very big passage of play. Murphy not quite getting on top, but he's playing slightly stronger. But you also feel that if he didn't go on to win this frame, it would be a big boost for Luca Brecel.
Well, if Brecel won the frame, he would be 2 up with 3 to play.
Five. Six. 8.
Great chance this to level the match at 4-all.
9. $15. 16. 22. 23.
Well, the three reds closest to the bottom cushion, the top right-hand one, is available. He can play on that. And any colour with it. Means we are level at 4-all behind snookers.
29. 30.
Was careful to stand between the two reds to leave himself a sitting pink.
$36. 37.
So Brecel didn't score in the last frame, which was occupied by Murphy's 1-3-1. He hasn't scored in this frame, and the momentum is with Murphy quite clearly.
44.
Yes, the
45.
unanswered points are at 204. Long time to watch your opponent. And a few more to add.
52. 53. 60. 61. 68. 70. 73.
He's cueing so well and potting so confidently. He needs to maintain it in the next frame. Another to level the match at 4-all.
15 seconds. Thank you, it's frame 9. Luca Brecel to break.
Level with 3 to play then. And at least Brecel has got his break-off shot in the right place. Behind the green.
Yes, he's got to do something, hasn't he, to stop this onslaught from Murphy. I think the fact that Luca Brecel has won the last 3 matches between them will count for something when the pressure comes on. He knows he can beat him. Murphy knows Brecel can beat him as well. It's been most entertaining to watch all evening. Terrific match. These two have played so well. They're real entertainers. You might have to play better safety shots than that one, because you know that Murphy can barely resist these. And he gets mighty close to them. To slip past the green. Fine margins at this game between good and bad. And for once the red doesn't go in. And again, I can't see anything easy that he's left.
Playing the safety in such a way as to disturb the bunch a bit.
Foul. Luca Brecel 4.
Well, the main idea there was to screw back into baulk, but he caught it not as intended.
Foul.
He was looking anxiously to see whether the red would finish, but there's not an easy opener for Brecel.
No, this one will test him if he plays the red to the left corner. We've seen how well he pots at range.
Perfect SEO for your
But
YouTube
as we're
video
saying,
at
he's
the
not
point of
been
upload,
getting
then
many
video
chances
is
recently. 27, coming up 28 minutes since he last potted a ball. It's a long time. And he got very close to it.
Played it in such a way that he wasn't leaving any other red.
And Luca can get past the black, the two reds close together. If he wants to play thin off those, he's actually playing a different red. We saw that he can play safe, and a very good safety player, as we saw against Mark Selby. But he keeps leaving tempters for Murphy. Sometimes your strength can be your weakness at this game. Murphy loves long pots, but if he does miss one, he could stick plenty available to his opponent. There's Shaun Murphy showing a bit of experience, and that's what he's going to need to do, I think, playing someone like Luca Brecel. Just occasionally just wait one. If he doesn't fancy a shot, hasn't got to play it.
Caught the red much too thin, clattered into other reds. Chance for Brecel.
One.
Wow. That's a bad kiss on the yellow. He's really put himself under pressure for this shot.
So Brecel fails to recover from his mistake, but has not left an easy starter.
Amazing how this game's played in the head, isn't it? We've had this match played at breakneck speed. Under 12 minutes on average per frame. Now we've got to 4-all with effectively a best of 3 from here. Both players see the winning line, and this frame could take a bit longer. Not played with quite the same confidence as early. Psychology coming into it.
Well, one psychological element was that Brecel knew that he should have been on an easy colour after his initial red. And when he wasn't, it put more pressure on attempting the blue as a recovery shot. But he's got away with missing it. Just off the mark, and
Shaun Murphy
there was a lot of pressure on that shot.
Yes, I've seen him knock them in though this week. Now, Shaun Murphy has got to recognise the signs. He's got his man a little bit rattled from 4-2. He's really attacked him to get to this position, and now he's got to take full advantage. And again, that's where the pressure almost comes back on Shaun Murphy now. He needs to score here.
7. Eight.
Well, that's okay. I don't think it's exactly how he played it.
Ten. 11. $16.
Not good. Muttering under his breath. Finishing in the middle of nowhere. This is a very awkward recovery. And it's one that he wants to think about getting the other end of the table from, whatever happens. Because he doesn't go in. And you can sense that he's tightening up now also. He recognises that this is a very important stage.
Should have been straightish.
Hello, thanks for signing up.
As opposed to very thin cut that he's faced with. To the point where he doesn't really fancy it.
Shaun Murphy 16.
Well, the cue ball's nowhere anyhow there. I can't believe he went for it full-bloodedly. He'd been unlucky to leave it, but it would have been some shot to play in and out of bulk for the blue.
Well, he definitely hit it thinner than intended because the cue ball came back halfway up the table. Not a great shot from Murphy, though. Could have been perfect on either blue, pink or black. It isn't perfect on either.
Yes, a lot of snookers played in the head. He came out 3-1 down, all guns blazing, knocking and everything. Century, just potting a lot of difficult shots, but now he sees the game in a different light, that he's drawn back to level. And it's not so easy to just continue.
Shaun Murphy 1.
This has to be thin. Did pretty well. Murphy took no time at all to realise that the position of the yellow and brown was offering a good place to put a safety behind. And Brecel also realised that. Too short. So Brecel hasn't potted a ball for 2 frames. Badly needs to reassert himself here.
One.
Not the best of positional shots, though.
And he's finished just about where Murphy finished from the earlier shot. I mean, he's on potable. Brown, blue, pink and black all will pot, but none of them are anywhere near perfect. In fact, they're all very difficult. And none of them give very good position to get onto another red either. Brown is his best hope, but this is a tough shot. Couldn't get near a red. Going to come down to almost who wants this most, this frame. Who wants to be in the final to play Ronnie O'Sullivan tomorrow the most.
Luca Brecel, 5.
Well, that's the chance of the game. That red that Brecel's just missed could have gone anywhere, and it's finished right over the middle pocket.
One. Six. Seven.
He stops in his tracks. I wonder if he's on this next red. I don't think he's on it without using side, and he doesn't really fancy that either. Sometimes on a shot like that you might be able to use right hand side and widen the angle, but even then I'm not sure he's on. So it's probably going to stay a scrappy frame, but a crucial one.
Shaun Murphy, 13.
This has got to be thin.
Couldn't have played it any better.
No, this looks really difficult now. It's a well-judged shot. He may be going for a red here. Shot to nothing. It's a natural sort of shot, and if he was playing well, he would really fancy it. He's got to play it with a degree of pace, which always means it could stay there. He's done well. He gave it every chance of going in. Compromising position.
Four.
Any safety shot from the red that he's looking at, that one right down on the cushion, is not going to be easy. He doesn't want that one back. There is a red that might be on, but I tell you, he's more than happy with that outcome. And the cue ball's travelling at pace there.
I think it was intentional that he played one red into another as a stopper, but it could still have gone very wrong.
No, there's no way in the world he played that side of the red up the table. Played it thinner. Got all the makings and all the feel of a deciding frame, this, but of course we're playing best of 11. Could be that whoever wins the frame goes on to win the match, though. There's certainly been some mistakes starting to creep in. Luca Brecel was so confident early. Such a high pot success, everything was working for him, and now it's all fallen away.
A chance for Murphy to take the lead for the first time at 5-4. Came to the table 21 in front.
He's just working out, Clive, what he needs, which colours he needs to take, so he hasn't got to take any difficult reds.
Six. Seven.
Well, whatever happens, he'll need two more reds.
Thirteen. 14.
This has been by far the nerviest frame of the evening. But it does look as if Murphy's going to win it.
$21. $22.
This to leave Brecel needing two snookers.
$29. $30. $37.
Murphy was 4-2 down. He made it 4-all with breaks of 131 and 73. And he's added that very tense ninth frame to lead for the first time at 5-4. One up with two to play.
Frame number 10, Shaun Murphy to break.
So is this the last frame or the last but one? Brecel played brilliantly to lead 3-1. He also led 4-2, but in the last 3 frames he's totaled only 14 points. Because Murphy has played so well, making 2 frame winning breaks, 131 and 73, and also prevailing in a very tight 9th frame. But it was a good sign for Brecel's supporters that he knocked in that long red, even if he didn't finish on a colour.
Yes, in some ways the onus is on Murphy to go on and finish this job now. He's been the better player, as you said there, in recent frames. Don't think we've seen the last of Brecel yet, though. Been playing too well lately to just meekly end up going out of the tournament.
Stroked in. There was no other red he could leave. It was always going to be on the black.
Eight. Nine.
Well, the next shot could be the biggest of the match. If he opens the reds up in the way that he's capable of, could be away. Well, go for it. That is outrageously unlucky. The red stays
Shaun
over the
Murphy,
pocket.
9. Luca Brecel, 7.
He could have been looking at a place in the final. And he did nothing wrong. He's played the shot in the way only Murphy knows how. Desperate, that is.
It's just the fickle finger of fate, nothing else.
If you're Luca Brecel, you think, well, maybe this is going to be my night. You've got to look at the little things that happen and say, well, maybe I'm not meant to lose this match.
Well, that last safety shot that Brecel played, it's a good job he got behind the yellow because he doubled the red over the left corner. Murphy decided that red had to be moved in conjunction with bringing the cue ball back near the baulk cushion.
It's a good shot to get the cue ball back, and I think that was his priority there. It's got quite tense in this arena here at the Ricoh. I feel that the crowd are getting into the match. They have got their favourites. People have been shouting out for certain or different players at certain times. And they're getting royally entertained. I'm sure there's a bit more to come from this. Now, the red that's up quite close to the right middle pocket is definitely a worry. Safety shot finishes short over towards the left, around by the yellow. Of course, he'd leave it on. Plays thin off the side of the bunch. Down the right side, he could hit on the way back up. It definitely is playing a part. And he's now looking at a containing shot, I think, at the opposite end of the table to where he's at now.
Well, that's where experience comes in so useful in those multiple choice shot selections at crucial moments.
Certainly the red he's closest to, pretty certain it goes to the left middle, but it's a really awkward angle. The cue ball's heading towards the middle pocket, and the knuckle of the middle pocket is certainly not a comfortable one. Getting back to safety if he doesn't pot the red. It's a great shot. He missed the knuckle of the middle bag.
There is no substitute for being a great potter.
He's actually knocked a lot of those sort of shots into that middle pocket, running up the table, done it all the way through this tournament.
And it didn't mean that Murphy's shot selection was the wrong one, but sometimes you have to play a shot in such a way that you know there's a risk that
7.
Your opponent may pot something.
Yes, I agree. It would be very difficult to criticise Murphy's shot selection. They had to do something.
8.
Had to play a shot, didn't he? And nothing seemed easy. However, nothing is certain yet. The little cluster of 6 reds have to be opened up.
13. $14.
He wanted to get onto the pink, I believe, from the last shot and didn't have the angle. I think he might be interested in doing so at some point.
20.
Just be able to flick one or two of the reds out from the angle he's got on the pink.
Hasn't any joy there.
26.
Handy little lead, 25 points in a tense frame like this. To the point where he's not really knocking any of the reds into the middle of the table.
Still 26.
Trying to nurse the lead along. See what comes his way.
Foul.
He couldn't do that again if he was there.
Luca
About 10
Brecel,
years.
4.
Well, at least he's not left anything easy for Brecel.
No, there's a possibility he could put Murphy back in, but he'd be worried he knocked in a long red. It's one of those where you don't really know what to do. The fact that he's got the option to put his man back in is kind of making things a little awkward, flummoxing him a bit. Yep, deciding to put Murphy into bat. Any red he could possibly go for. Well, I guess there's two, the one by the pink or the one down the cushion, but they're very difficult. Well, if that red was touching the cushion, then the pot's a little easier. Only a little.
Pretty good shot off that red. It's always awkward when the ball is lying so near a cushion, almost touching it. Well, most of the match has been potting and break building, and then you have to consider a problem like this, what to do.
I think that's fair enough. In fact, it's quite a clever shot, pushing the red safe. Because he's got a 29-point lead, that is, I mean. You feel the match is worthy of a decider. Shaun Murphy wouldn't agree, obviously, that he's in front, but it feels like it could go all the way. Need some cover here. And the blue's in the way of the pot. He certainly looked down the line of this. I wonder if he's going to try and pop the red off the red near the pocket here. Nope. Look at that, he's just playing the containing shot. I think he played to miss that red and hit the one near the pocket, Clive.
So do I.
He did sort of gesture as if the table just drifted off slightly.
Vital at this stage of the match. But he loses his concentration with the simple black.
Luca Brecel won.
I wouldn't quite go as far as to say simple the way he's queuing, but after the red, I certainly expected him to pot it. Great red. Means nothing now.
One.
So Murphy came to the table only 30 behind, and it looked as if Brecel might put him out of the frame.
Well, this is the moment. The chance has arrived, and it's in his own hands. Not an easy table, first thing I would say, to get back into the frame. Get the points that he needs. He's got the red down the cushion at some point with his right hander. He could get behind that.
7.
Not much else is difficult, except for the situation itself.
8.
The big tournament final tomorrow is the reward. Prestige event like this, Champion of Champions.
Fourteen.
He's overhit. That's okay. He
15.
doesn't want that one back. He's lucky to be on the blue and he can cue it. I think it's easy screw back for the two reds.
So it looks very much as if the key ball will be the red on the side cushion.
Twenty. 21. 27. 28.
He's got the angle on the pink just to drop in behind the red. It would be very handy. He'd be pulling the red and screwing back probably for the blue, thinking a couple of shots ahead. And then there wouldn't be anything all that difficult after that. So this is
34.
a very big shot.
Not easy,
Shaun Murphy, 34.
particularly with the need to inject some pace.
One.
So the chance passes to Brecel. If he clears up to the pink, he'll level the match at 5-all. He's not played that any too well, though.
No, I'm not sure he could hold it if the yellow is indeed available. Pass the brown into the top right. He's got to go all around the table here. Well, the pot was not on.
Luca Brecel, 4.
So the shot on the yellow was even worse than we first thought. Green to yellow, that is.
Very good.
Well, we've seen some great pots tonight, but that safety shot could be a match winner. Well, he's played it. At a pace where he was in absolutely no control of anything there.
This is a chance, but there's distance involved.
It's the kind of shot, if he plays on the green, same pocket as the yellow, he's hoping for a bit of cover if he misses the pot.
And there's the element of chance. Once he'd missed the yellow, it could have gone anywhere.
Quiet, please.
It's not going to be easy to get all the way back for the green, though.
Two.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's my imagination, but last frame or two, that cue that we know has got a little break in it. It's making a rather strange noise on power shots. Didn't seem to have any confidence in that. Getting round for the green. But he's played that shot very nicely. Now all of a sudden he's got the advantage.
Two.
And settled for that. Well, he obviously tried to play the snooker, but in doing so, he's probably lost the advantage of the table. He would think that if he could get him into trouble, but either way, priority must be getting the green safe here. Oh, that's a bizarre shot. I've got no idea what he played. It certainly wasn't that.
So Murphy pots the green by mistake and leaves himself with a difficult safety.
Well, you're trying to get the green safe. How on earth can you just pot it into the top right pocket?
Shaun Murphy 3.
Glimmer of a chance for Murphy.
Yeah, but if he does get it, you would think he'd be heading back into baulk, so he's not got the easiest shot on the next ball, which is the blue, of course. I suppose he'll worry about that if the pot goes in.
Well, best possible outcome in a way for Murphy. Brown catching the jaws and running back along the black cushion. Snookering Brecel.
Foul. Miss.
As soon as he hit that, there's a little
Shaun
bit of
Murphy
a
4.
sort of mumble going around the audience. They thought he'd finish short. And he did, not by very far, I have to say. Doesn't seem much more firmly played. Now, it's gone horribly wrong. What a chance for Murphy.
Wow. He trailed 3-1 and 4-2 with a run of 4 straight frames. The last 2 of them extremely tense. Has locked in the winner by 6 frames to 4, and he will play Ronnie O'Sullivan for the title tomorrow.
Well, he hadn't won a match here in the Champion of Champions until this week, but Shaun